great honor to have Micheal Mounir for one more time this week. Thank you for being with us again.
Thank you for having me.
I met you during the election. I know you were very hopeful and joyful, and the process was going well. What do you think of the process today?
Oh, it's amazing. It's an amazing experience to be taken part of. I had goosebumps throughout my body when Amba Bachomius lift up the name of Pope Tawadros II. I actually, now I can speak freely and say I voted for him, and I was very hopeful. And maybe throughout the whole week I was praying that, that he would be the one.
Why?
I don't know him personally, which is very rare because I got to know everybody in the church.
Before, right.
But from what I know about him is he always kept himself, kept low profile, didn't travel outside of his diocese. And Amba Macarius of Armenia was talking to me, another great leader of the church.
Yes. And he was one of his mentors also.
He was one of his mentors, but Amba Macarius was talking to me, and I was asking him, and he told me that the thing about this piece of information, that he was invited to go to Armenia many times, and he did not want to because he did not want to keep to himself and didn't want to have this whole, didn't want to travel and didn't want to, the people don't know who he is, and and then to me personally, he's spiritual, he's humble, he follows the steps of one of our great leaders of being extremely special in many ways. Not only is he spiritual and he obviously carries the spirit of the Coptic Church, he's also very well educated. He is a scientist. He's a managerial number one. He's got this management style, and not only that, he just did it before he joined the monastery, but after, he continued. He went to Singapore. Is
that right?
He took special studies in managing church affairs.
Really?
Now you have the two for one, because in his wisdom, I'm sure Amba Tawadros will always ask for the guidance of Amba Bachomius whenever he needs or confronted with a tough issue. And I'm sure he learned from Amba Bachomius throughout. And Amba Bachomius is a great man. He's one of those jewels of the church that the early teachers that just very, very few are left around. And it was such an amazing blessing experience to get to know him in this whole process. And I will continue definitely to know him and ask for his guidance spiritually and even politically, because he used to tell me, Michael, you're just so tough. It's forget this Abat al-Mahgar approach. We need to look at it from a different approach.
Speaking about politics, Pope Shenouda unfairly was blamed to be a politician. How do you see the church in the new era, the era of Pope Tawadros II, in the politics realm?
Personally, I always said that the government put the Pope and the bishops in their positions because it's a lot easier for them to deal with a bishop rather than for a state like Armenia, where Copts are over 2 million, to deal with 2 million people. So it's easier to deal with a bishop or two. And that also helped the government deflect criticism, that it's allowing the religious right, the Salafis and the Ikhwan to get up and work in politics and work everywhere else. And they said, well, the church also is involved in that process. So it was done and by design, and I know I've met His Holiness Pope Shenouda, and we've had many one-on-one for a long time. And there's something maybe people did not know.
Really?
But
we have to have our own time about this.
Yes.
Another time. Okay.
And I tell you, the Pope was a great leader, and he had to step in because there was this vacuum. If he did not step in, the church would have been completely marginalized and set aside. My own feeling about what needs to happen is, and I asked the Pope to do, ask His Holiness to really reform the guidelines for electing the civilian council.
Okay.
This is important. Majlis al-Milli. We need a civilian council. My own proposal is to add a bit of political responsibilities to the civilian council. To be near the Pope, is trusted by the church, to have it elected by a wider mass of the people, and add a little bit of political representation responsibilities to it. This will allow the new Pope to take a step back, will allow the bishops to take a step back from the political realm, and will allow sort of for the civilian leadership to take place. But for sure, in the next few months, the Pope is going to have to confront the new constitution. He's going to have to confront the law for the building of churches. He's going to have to deal with issues with the civil laws and the issues of the marginalizations of Copts in the political process as a whole. This he has to deal with in the next few weeks and few months, and nobody's going to be able to tell him, no, you're acting politically or you're being involved in politics, because we have that transition that needs to take place. Until that transition takes place, we definitely welcome his involvement. In fact, Muslims want him to be involved in politics. I just read an article for a Muslim individual asking him, please stay involved in the church, in politics, because that is a safeguard for us. It is a safeguard, but we also need to increase the civilian leadership. I mean, today we had many Copts sitting in the front rows who, the Copts are just after the revolution, changed completely. I mean, we founded the political parties, at least one or two. We have, for the first time, a Copt who's the head of a political party. We have Copts running for parliament and winning and occupying seats. We have Copts represented everywhere. So the caliber of the people are there. It just, they need a push and they need a strong stand from the church with the government to allow for some sort of a positive discrimination law, reverse discrimination law, an affirmative action law. Something like that needs to take place to allow for the Christians to be represented. It does not make any sense to have 5 or 6 individuals representing 18 million. And up until that happens, I anticipate the Pope is going to be involved in politics, and rightfully so.
Thank you very much, Michael. You always bring us so much wealth of information.
Appreciate it. It's
my
pleasure.
Have a full day with you.
I appreciate it. It's a great honor to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you. So again, a very glorious historical day. You have heard from so many high caliber people. I was very honored to meet many of them, and I wish all of you were here, because that's a day is written in history, and this is a day that is written in heaven and actually being inscribed in earth. We are very honored to have the new Pope, Pope Tawadros II. I hope you enjoyed today from CYC. God bless you all and see you soon. Thank you.